The Gambia national budget of the 2025 fiscal year is out, and boy, you will be amazed how inflated the budget is. We won't say you will be shocked by the budget itself because, let's be honest, it's the Gambian government we are talking about here. Nothing good is expected to come out from their supposed strategic planning, which includes the planning of the budget. But you will be left perplexed on this one thing, which is one silly move out of the many silly things that caused the inflation of the 2025 fiscal year budget allocation. This one thing is a detrimental mistake the Gambian government had made not long ago, and here we are. Another same mistake and miscalculation is about to rock the nation again for the third consecutive time in a row. If this doesn't convince you that the Gambia under Adama Barrow will never move forward, then nothing else will. Let's take a deep dive. Let's analyze. The overinflated national budget of the 2025 fiscal year has come at a very scary moment in the Gambia's history. At a time when the government is bankrupt due to overwhelming fiscal mismanagement disaster, predominantly by the current sitting government, which is the Adama Barrow government, who has been doing amazingly well in plunging the Gambian economy into a complete unsalvageable catastrophe that will undoubtedly go down as the worst era in the Gambian history. The Gambia is broke, and the government as well as sound citizens alike know that by now. Every single month this government goes to the central bank with treasury bills and government bonds just to be able to pay salaries, and not to talk of the country's overdependence on foreign aid. Despite all these, Adama Barrow still keeps on expanding the spending of this country on useless things. But there's this one useless thing out of the many useless things that caused the overinflation of the national budget of 2025. This portrays or conveys a huge signal to the Gambian people, telling them that such occurrence is normal having an ignorant regime in power. What are we talking about here? Firstly, after the procurement of NAM vehicles costing $2.5 million each, which we had seen amidst little to no public awareness, not to talk of public consultation, and the country's massive debt distress Adama Barrow has plunged the country into. Secondly, after Adama Barrow buying well over $1 billion worth of top-class luxury SUVs in a shady deal for the Organization of Islamic Conference, OIC, with each costing over $12 million each for just a two-day event, after which these same were distributed amongst themselves, as per the reports from NPP camp. The same Adama Barrow who spent these crazy amounts of money on these luxury vehicles now wants money that goes as far as over $800 million to lavish on new sets of top luxury vehicles without any valuable justifications, despite knowing fully well that the country is in a state of bankruptcy. As if this is not enough, could you imagine? Adama Barrow also wants an additional $335 million for fueling these vehicles, and a further more than $100 million for the maintenance of these vehicles as well. Do you guys know what this means? This means that these vehicles will be well maintained despite them not bringing any return on investment. This is much more preferable to Adama Barrow than the maintenance of the ferry services, which go unmaintained until all of them go out of service despite them bringing in revenue for the country. Now, what do you call this? Comment your thoughts in the comments section below. This is a humble request to please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to the African Pacific YouTube channel, a Gambian-owned channel looking into the brutal happenings of the motherland that are often ignored by mainstream media. Please show your support by liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. The Gambia government's proposed inclusion of an $800 million budget for SUVs in the 2025 fiscal year has sparked widespread debate, both in the National Assembly and among the public. This allocation, part of a broader $53 billion budget, has been criticized for prioritizing non-essential expenses over critical sectors like education, health, and agriculture. Critics argue that the SUV budget is a symbol of misplaced priorities, particularly when basic public services remain underfunded. The controversy arises at a time when the Gambia is grappling with significant fiscal challenges. Nearly 30% of the proposed budget, $11 billion, is allocated to debt servicing, leaving limited resources for development needs. Key sectors such as education and health are allocated 13.4% and 7% of the budget respectively, far below international recommendations. In this context, the SUV allocation has been labeled as extravagant and disconnected from the urgent needs of the population. Some sound-minded lawmakers in the civil society have voiced concerns about the implications of such spending on public trust and fiscal discipline. While the government has defended its expenditure plan as aligning with its operational needs, opposition members argue that the funds could be better directed toward poverty alleviation or enhancing public services. The inclusion of luxury vehicles is seen as undermining the government's commitment to fiscal prudence and addressing socio-economic inequities. The debates in the National Assembly reflect broader discontent with the government's fiscal strategies. Public calls for accountability and the redirection of funds highlight a growing demand for budget allocations that prioritize citizens' welfare. As deliberations continue, the SUV budget remains a focal point in the discourse on balancing government efficiency with responsible resource allocation in the Gambia. This is a polite reminder to please like this video and subscribe to the African Pacific YouTube channel. Thank you so much. In conclusion, the national budget of the 2025 fiscal year had been overinflated for all the wrong reasons, all of which directly points towards the fact that Adama Barrow is not fit to run and make key decisions on behalf of all Gambians. It also points towards how he takes every given opportunity to squander taxpayers' money into things the taxpayers themselves get bemused by. In summary, all of this tells clearly that Adama Barrow is not worthy of your votes if he should be seen on ballot boxes in the next presidential elections. The longer he stays in power, the more irreparable the Gambian economy becomes. Choose wisely.